You know Scar as the villain, the brother who betrayed Mufasa, the uncle who tried to murder Simba, the lion whose name echoes through Disney history as the very definition of treachery. But what if the truth is more complicated? Welcome back to the Royal Bloodline, the series where we uncover the true history of the Lion King's royal family. In episode 1, we explored forgotten rulers, Mohatu and Ahadi, kings of legend, whose stories shaped the Pride Lands long before Mufasa was born. In episode 2, we followed the orphan cub who would change everything, Mufasa, and how he became king not by blood, but by choice. But today, we step into the shadows, because to understand this royal bloodline, you must understand the one who broke it. This is the story of how a prince became an outcast. This is the tragedy of Scar. We begin not with betrayal, but with brotherhood. Taka was born to rule, the rightful heir to the throne, groomed from birth, trained in diplomacy, hunting, and the responsibilities of future kingship. He wasn't just a prince, he was the prince. The Pride Lands were his to inherit, and then came the flood. Mufasa was swept into his life like a wave from the gods, a lion with no past, no parents, no claim to the throne, but something about him drew others in. His quiet strength, his humility, his kindness. At first, Taka welcomed him with open paws. They played together, trained together, grew together. They were brothers in every way but blood. And for a while, that was enough. But what begins as love often ends as loss. And what scars us the most sometimes wears a familiar face. Slowly, everything began to shift. The pride started looking to Mufasa. Animals bowed more deeply in his presence. Elders listened when he spoke, not because he demanded it, but because he carried himself like a leader. Taka saw it. Everyone did. And when the time came to choose a successor, the unthinkable happened. Mufasa was chosen to be king. Imagine being Taka in that moment. Raised your entire life to wear the crown, only to have it handed to someone else. Not because you failed, but because he fit. The pride's elders called it destiny. But to Taka, it felt like theft. This wasn't just disappointment. It was erasure. He had done everything right, and yet, the throne slipped from his paws like water. And here's where things get complicated. In the original 1994 film, Scar is framed as conniving from the start, but Disney's 2024 prequel offers something deeper, a backstory that reframes his entire arc. Taka didn't begin as a villain. He was a lion who gave everything and lost everything. In this version, his descent isn't instant. It's gradual, a wound that never heals, a name that begins to sting. He watches as the lion he saved becomes the lion who takes his place. Mufasa, to his credit, doesn't ask for the crown. He doesn't manipulate. He simply becomes undeniable, and that might be the hardest part. How do you hate someone who never wronged you, but still took everything you dreamed of? Taka begins to change. He smiles less, withdraws more. His words become sharper, his gaze more distant. The pride still respects him, but no longer follows him. He takes on a new name, Scar. In some versions of the story, the name comes from a wound, physical or emotional, that he carries as a mark of betrayal. In the 1994 film, it's literal, but symbolically, it's always been more than that. A scar isn't just an injury, it's a memory that never fades. By taking that name, he becomes something new, something hardened, something broken. He starts to observe from the shadows, watching Mufasa take on royal duties, seeing the pride gather around him, hearing his own name whispered only in the past tense. He begins to visit the Outlands, not because he's banished, but because he no longer belongs. And deep inside, one question festers. If I was born to be king, then who am I now? He thought of Pride Rock, the summit he had climbed as a cub, imagining the roars of a kingdom below. Now, those roars belonged to someone else. Even Sarabi, once his equal in laughter and cleverness, now stood beside Mufasa, not as friend, but as queen. He wondered quietly, bitterly if the pride had ever truly seen him. He hadn't just lost the crown, he had lost the story. Scar wasn't just passed over, he was erased. No role, no duty, no place. Had the elders asked him to lead the royal guard, guide the young, or teach the ancient laws, perhaps his heart might have stayed, but they didn't, and so he faded, until the Outlands whispered a truth the pride never said: you still matter. Let's pause here and ask, what makes a villain? Is it choice, circumstance, or something deeper, like the loss of identity, of purpose, of belonging? Scar didn't wake up one day and decide to be the antagonist. He was slowly written out of his own story. The prince becomes the spare. The brother becomes the shadow. Some fans argue that Scar's descent was preventable, that if Mufasa or the pride had seen his pain, acknowledged his sacrifice, given him any meaningful role, he might have stayed loyal. Others say his jealousy ran too deep, that even if he had been offered a place, he would have wanted more, not because of power, but because of pride. The truth may be somewhere in between, because what Scar does next changes the Pride Lands forever. As Mufasa grows into his kingship, Scar drifts further. He begins to speak with outsiders. The hyenas, cast out by the circle of life, find a voice in Scar. To them, he is not a villain. He is a visionary. He promises them food, power, a place in the sun. He speaks of a new order, one not bound by tradition, but by strength, where lions no longer rule alone, where outcasts rise. To the Pride Lands, this sounds like treason, but to Scar, it sounds like justice. And here lies the core of his tragedy. Scar genuinely believes he could lead better, that the circle of life is broken, that Mufasa's kindness is weakness. He isn't just acting out of spite, he believes he's right. He walks with Shenzi, Banzai, and Ed. He gives them strategy, vision, purpose. To them, Scar is a general, a leader, a liberator, and with every conversation, the plan begins to take shape. He doesn't just want to take the throne, he wants to prove he was always meant to sit on it. When Scar engineers Mufasa's death, it's not just murder. It's an attempt to reclaim the narrative, to rewrite his fate, to finally become the king he was always told he'd be. But by then, the lion who might have been a great ruler has become a tyrant. His reign is marked by famine, fear, and collapse. The pride suffers, the land withers, and the hyenas, once allies, begin to question his rule. Why? Because Scar rules with resentment, not vision. He got the crown, but by the time he did, he'd already lost the thing that made him worthy of it. He walks Pride Rock as a shadow of what he could have been. He sees Simba's face in dreams. He hears Mufasa's voice in the wind. He wears the title of king, but never the heart of one. And yet, even in his downfall, Scar remains complex. He's not a one-note villain. He's a fallen prince, a lion whose pain was never healed, whose love was never returned, whose legacy was never secured. Some say Scar's greatest crime wasn't killing Mufasa, but giving up on himself. Others say his path was inevitable, that some scars run too deep. But one thing is clear: without Scar, there is no Simba, there is no story. His betrayal sets the entire saga into motion. His pain becomes the crucible in which Simba is tested, and his shadow becomes the measure by which all future kings are judged. Even Kiara's reign, decades later, exists in the aftermath of Scar's actions. He broke the circle, so others could rebuild it, and in doing so, he became the king who never was. So, was Scar really the villain, or was he the warning? A reminder that leadership isn't just about strength or birthright, it's about heart. Scar had brilliance, he had charisma, he had claim, but he lacked love, and without it, the crown he once dreamed of turned to ash. His story isn't just a fall from grace, it's a reflection of the brother who rose, of the pride who turned, of the king who might have been. When Simba returns, Scar sees his own ghost walking toward him. The cub he tried to destroy, now grown, now regal, now worthy. And when he falls from Pride Rock, consumed by the very hyenas he once led, it's not just the end of a tyrant, it's the end of a dream gone dark. Because at his core, Scar didn't want chaos. He wanted to be seen, to be chosen, to matter, to be king. But a true king is measured not by power, but by what he protects. And Scar, in the end, ruled nothing but dust. And so the scar remains, not on his body, but on the legacy. We follow the lion who redeemed the bloodline, Simba, from exile to king, from guilt to greatness. Don't miss it. And remember, even the darkest scars begin with a wound. Let us know in the comments. Do you think Scar was a villain or a victim of fate? Did the pride fail him, or did he fail himself? If you haven't yet, check out episodes 1 and 2 to see how this royal bloodline began. And make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because the royal bloodline is just getting started. The shadows may be long, but the legacy is longer.